Welcome back. Good morning, all of my dear viewers. So, welcome back again. Welcome to the new session of forensic medicine. And the today's session, I'm going to discuss a very important topic of the forensic medicine, and the name of topic is death. So, first we try to understand death is not an event; it is a process. Sir, what is the difference between the events and the process? Let's see. Events means any instantaneous changes or the changes occur at a particular times, but the process is not any instantaneous changes. It is a changes occur in a sequence. So basically, when the changes occur in a sequence, in that condition we call it a process, and death is also a process. I mean, the death is not any instantaneous changes or the changes occur at a particular interval of times. There are a sequence of changes occur during the death process. So what are the changes occur in the death process? Basically, the death process is start with, the death process is begin with the somatic death, then followed by the supravital periods, and finally end with the molecular death. So you can see that in the death there are the three sequential events is occur. They begin with the somatic death, followed by supravital period, and then finally end with molecular death. So first we try to understand what are the things happening in all these three sequence. So we start the things by somatic death, and that is the first events occurs during the death process. So what are the things happening during this uh, somatic death process? So somatic death is a cessation of the three interlinks cessation, or we can say that it is the permanent or the irreversible cessation of the three interlinks vital system of our body. So what are these three interlinks vital systems? One is obviously our CNS, second is the CVS, and the third is RS. So this somatic death is basically a permanent or the irreversible cessation of this three interlinks vital system of our body. So why this cessation will happen? This is because these all three vital systems, their higher centers are located in brainstem. So what happens due to the hypoxia, their higher center neurons get degenerated. So obviously when the neurons get degenerated, there is no signal goes from higher center to the other system. So that leads to the permanent or the irreversible cessation of these three vital systems. Okay, so now what are the other things happen in during this somatic death? During this somatic death, not all the cells of our body are died. Some cells are still alive. So if some cells are the still alive, they show reflexes. One of the two common reflexes is one is the Jacobs phenomena and another is the pupillary reflex. So what happens in case of the Jacobs phenomena? In case of the Jacobs phenomena, it is related to the muscle excitability. So since at this stage now muscles are still alive, so when we get mechanical or any electrical stimulus, they respond. So the excitability of the muscle cell, especially the skeletal muscle cells, by the external stimulus, it is called a Jacobs phenomena. The another important reflexes seen in this page is the pupillary reflexes. Since corneal cells are the still alive, so what happens when we add atropine, which is a dilator, so the eye of person get dilated. So this is a pupillary reflex. So these two phenomena are commonly seen in case of the somatic death. One is the Jacobs phenomena and another is the pupillary dilation. The other things is that since all the cells are not died, some cells are still alive. So in this stage the organ harvesting is effective. We can go for the organ transplantation. Okay, what are the more things happen in this case? So okay, one more thing is they mimic the condition of suspended animation. So what is this suspended animation? Suspended animation is it is a death like events but not a true death. What happens in suspended animation? The BMR rate of a person is very low. So whenever the BMR rate of the person is very low, the vital organ need very less oxygen for the no for vital action. So their vital activities are very low. So if any person vital activities are very low, in that condition it is difficult for the clinician to diagnose a person is alive or dead by normal physical examination, because their vital activities are very poor. So sometimes what happen, a clinician not able to appreciate a person is alive or dead. So for the confirmation of death, they go for the ECG or the breath sound. If the ECG or the breath sounds they show that a person is dead, then it is considered as a somatic death. So these all things are all about the somatic death. After the somatic death, the next event is the supravital period. So in the supravital period, it is the processes of the cell dying. In this stage, cells start dying, but not all the cells are dying. Since the cells are not all the cells are dying, so definitely they in this condition they also show the Jacobs phenomena and this pupillary reflexes. So after the supravital period, the final stages of death is molecular death or the cellular death. So in the molecular death or the cellular death, almost all the cells of our body get died. So when all the cells of our bodies are died, so obviously there is the absence of all the reflexes. No any reflexes seen in case of this cellular or the molecular death. Or this stage is characterized by the rigor mortis, algar mortis, and the livor mortis. So rigor mortis, livor mortis, algar mortis, they are the characteristics feature of this molecular death. So these all things are about the death. Now we go for the reading section what I am writing. So we start with the definition of death. I mean it is not an events, it is a process. I already explained what is the difference between the events and the process. And the process begin with the somatics death, followed by the supravital periods in which some body cells are the viables. In this cell, no all the body cells get died, some body cells are still alive and respond to a stimulus. Obviously, if some cells are alive, especially the muscles and the corneal cells, then when we stimulate this cell, they respond to the stimulus. And finally end with the molecular death in which almost all the body cells are died. Okay, so these are the three events. One is the somatics death, another is the supravital period, and the third is the molecular death. So these are the sequence of the death. Start with the somatic death, then enter into the supravital period, and finally end with the molecular death. So what are the things happen in case of the somatic death? First thing, somatic death is also called as clinical death. So it is the permanent irreversible cessation of the three interlinked vital system, I mean CNS, CVS and the RS, due to the damaging of its higher center located in the brainstem. Okay. So second thing, it is the immediate post-mortem changes. Okay, one more important. It is the immediate post-mortem change, while the molecular death is the late post-mortem changes. Some body cells are still alive and the response to the stimulus. So that's why we observe the Jacobs phenomena and the pupillary reflex. The next thing is resemble to the suspended animation, and the organ harvesting is effective, and it is confirmed by the ECG or the absence of breath sound. Okay. So these all things about the somatic death. Now we go for the molecular death. It is the death almost all the cells of our body occur 5 to 6 hours after the somatic death. Absence of all the reflexes, because at this stage almost all cells will die, and the organ harvesting is ineffective. If all the cells of our bodies are already there, then why we go for the organ harvesting? There is no any use for that organs. Absence of Jacobs phenomena and the pupillary reflexes. characterized by rigor mortis, ergor mortis, and the labor mortis. Okay, now the third thing is the supravital period for 2 to 3 hours. It is a period between the somatic death and the molecular death. In this period, the cells start dying since some cells are still alive, so the reflexes are present like Jacob's phenomena and the pupillary reflex. And one of the more important point, it helps in estimating the time since death. So these all things are about the death. Welcome back in next video. Okay.